Logic. The drums, I need to get some light. Something. It's your boy Bonkers, man. We over here out in Lawrenceville picking up my boy Will Spitz. My boy Tony.
Good, he's
Chilling, bro. How you doing?
Chilling, man. You already know Chef Ramsey in the building. You know me about to fuck my nigga Dopes and shit. Shout out to my niggas, Big Play and all that. Desert Storm, you know what I mean? Fucking with the homies. About to go through there. My man Jay Bonkers produced that joint. Shit stupid. Chef Ramsey, nigga, we on deck. About to hit the studio. Yo. Nah, I ain't even doing what I'm about to go through with Dopes. Let me talk to him, let me talk to him. Let me talk to him, let me talk to him. Let me talk to him, let me talk to him. Let me talk to him, let me talk. Swag surfing cause my cash work. You might hit the jeweler, make a big purchase. Rap game like a big service, I'm killing them. I need 600. That broke man, you kids work. Wait, taking round trips with my brown bitch. Got a trunk full in that Crown Vic. Haitian mob who I'm down with. Just swerving through with my semi. They charging more like Demi. Got the smoke and we got the blow and we letting it go for the penny. Had loud packs from a while back. Fuck a middleman putting wild tax. 20 pounds get it compact like I give a fuck about a contract. Eyeball, contacts, just left the lot, check the Carfax. Yo shit, old artifacts, just let me know where they harder at. If you short, I want it all back. All I think about's more stacks on top of stacks, yeah that's more racks. Real nigga, what you call that? Doing me, I'm just doing me. About to kill the streets, it's my eulogy. Bad bitches by the 2 or 3s when I hop out, they like who is he? Right there when them grams be, I be right there when them grams be. In the kitchen with my apron on, cooking it up, Chef Ramsey. Right there when them grams be, I be right there when them grams be. In the kitchen with my apron on, cooking it up, Chef Ramsey. Right there when them grams be, I be right there when them grams be. In the kitchen with my apron on, cooking it up, Chef Ramsey.
I be right there with them grams be, used to hand on the front street. When you see me, I don't know you, nigga keep it moving, you don't know me. Got fish scale, got OG, nigga what you need, I got it for the G. I pledge lease to my OG, made history at 23. I fuck bitches, get bad bitches, I get money, my bitch farm. Turn it to a crew for that money, have stupid nigga cashing out for dimes. Got trap money, got rap money, my niggas rob me like boy walk. Play with me, I bust your onion. Fuck with me, I bust your onion. I got the truck game in the fucking yoga. Been hustling all day, we count it on the floor. I blow it fast cause I make it bad. I'm taking that, I'm raking that. On shelf board, RD. What the fuck is your apron at?
Doing me, I'm just doing me. About to kill the streets, it's my eulogy. Bad bitches by the 2 or 3s when I hop out, they like who is he? Right there when them grams be, I be right there when them grams be. In the kitchen with my apron on, cooking it up, Chef Ramsey. Right there when them grams be, I be right there when them grams be. cooking up under 250, that's like cake. Souffle, we chefing up so they can flame it up. What you call that? Flambe. Only eat with the family. Bout to blow any damn day. Black Ray-Bans in my Space Jams. You small time like 8 grams. Still running with them well-known street niggas that take bands. Smoke nigga, get you smoke nigga. Your life ain't even worth 8 grand. Little dude trying to ball with me, might hurt yourself. Ace bands. Smoke like I'm from another planet. I be so high they can't understand it. Y'all spitters couldn't make a hit if I threw it to you underhanded. We make movies every night. You can HBO on demand it. Getting money in these paralegic motherfuckers.